Welcome to Coach's Corner, everyone. Thanks for watching the show. I'm your host, Coach Tripp. My favorite segment of the week, Goode and Faithful Servant with my old teammate at Alabama, Kerry Goode, who most of you know has Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS, fighting it on year 11. And with AI technology, Kerry now can mouth his think and blank his words in the computer. It will spit it out in his own voice. And Kerry's full of wisdom. So we tackle his book every week. We deep dive into it, Goode and Faithful Servant book. Go find it at any bookstore. So we deep dive into it. We're actually on day number 123. Kerry breaks up his chapters into days, 196 total days. So this subject is appropriate. Living life in the fourth quarter. This is brought to you by Sandy Sansing Chevrolet. Go see the Seiler Agency and Ronnie's Car Wash to have the cleanest car in town. Thanks for all the great sponsors, and this is going to be a great show Monday night. Thanks for joining. This is all in Kerry's words. Now, I just ask the questions. Life is made up of 4 quarters: the young, the adult, middle age, and the senior. We should be motivated to enjoy every moment of our lives. You know, during college football season, you may notice a team raise their 4 fingers when the fourth quarter begins. It is their way of saying the fourth quarter is ours. That is normally followed by some coach saying, quote, dig in deep, give it all you got, quote, leave it all on the field, take nothing back to the locker room. To do this, players must try to reach their full potential by expounding every ounce of energy in their bodies. The thinking here is win the fourth quarter and we win the game. Many games are won and lost in the fourth quarter. When you lose, the saddest summary of a game or life contains 4 regrets: could have, would have, might have, should have. No one who's ever given their best has ever regretted it. By the fourth quarter of life, we've all made our share of mistakes, right? We've dropped the pass, thrown the interception, fumbled the ball, missed blocks, blown coverages, and some of us have even been called for personal fouls. Yet it is the wisdom of the fourth quarter of life that says, I have learned from my mistakes and I'm moving forward. While the first 3 quarters of the game matter, they are just training ground for those last 15 minutes. The fourth quarter eventually comes in all of our lives. The best competitors leave the arena with no regrets, nothing left in their tank. Your body says no, but your mind can reach down into depths and pull out another round you didn't even know was there. Your body can do amazing things. It's your mind you have to convince. All right, the fourth quarter is yours to win or lose. Leave it all on the field. Take nothing to the locker room, the grave. Here we go. My first question for Kerry. KG, I confided in Coach Dubose a few years ago when I was going through one of the toughest challenges in my life. I said, Coach, right at the beginning of the fourth quarter of my life, blah, blah, blah. After a few seconds, he replied, Tripp, did you think you were going to have a big lead by now? I was taken aback for a second. And then I just started laughing so hard. He got me out of my funk. It was his way of saying to me, Tripp, you're going to have to get a couple stops on defense to pull out a win in this game. Also reminding me of what Coach Brian said 40 years ago in the locker room and team meetings to every team he ever coached. He said, what are you going to do when your dog dies and your wife runs off with the drummer? KG, back then we didn't think much of that statement. We thought it was kind of crazy, but he knew we were all going to go through this in life. Did you ever hear that bizarre life warning from Coach Brian?
Hello, everybody, and thanks again for riding with us on the show. Oh, this question right here is dangerous because anytime you mix Coach Dubose, Coach Bryant life lessons in the fourth quarter, you are guaranteed either wisdom or emotional whiplash. Yes, Tripp, I have absolutely heard that bizarre warning from Coach Bryant, and only Coach Bryant could say something so traumatic and motivating in the same sentence. What are you going to do when your dog dies and your wife runs off with the drummer was not counseling. That was spiritual conditioning. That was Coach saying life is not always going to hand you a comfortable lead at the start of the fourth quarter. Sometimes you look up at the scoreboard and realize you are down 7. Your defense is tired. Your kicker is shaky, and the drummer is clearly winning at life. Coach Dubose asking if you thought you would have a big lead by now is classic football truth wrapped in comedy. He was basically saying, Trick, this is not a victory formation moment. This is a roll up your sleeves, spit out your mouthpiece, and find a way to get a couple of stops on defense situation. Life does not promise you a cushion. Sometimes it gives you a short field and says good luck. That is the thing about the fourth quarter of life. You think by now you would be cruising, calling safe plays, and running out the clock. Instead, you are blitzing from every angle, making halftime adjustments in the fourth quarter, and hoping your knees hold up for one more series. Coach Bryant knew it. Coach Dubose knew it. And anybody who has lived long enough knows it. The fourth quarter is rarely about comfort. It is about grit. So yes, Trip, I have heard that warning, and I am living proof that sometimes the dog dies. The drummer is suspiciously confident, and you are still expected to dig deep and play winning football. The good news is this: the fourth quarter is where legends are made. You may not have a big lead, but if you can get a couple stops on defense, protect the ball, and keep swinging, you still have a chance to win the game. And if nothing else, you will go down knowing you fought like hell until the final whistle.
Wow. As you are too, Kerry. Wow, great wisdom. Only only Coach Brian can combine a message that is both traumatic and motivating at the same time. Wow. Life isn't about fourth quarter, especially. Not about comfort. It's about grit, he says. Man, that's some awesome stuff. All right, KG, here's my second question for you about this chapter. Kerry, did you know I played for Coach Bryant? Did not even know that he started the fourth quarter pledge. Dr. Galen McCullough chronicles the origin in his book, The Long Shadow of Paul Bear Bryant. Check out my upcoming podcast Wednesday night with Bill Pendock and Blaze Winter, as we will learn, and people out there that listen to the show will learn how and why millions and millions of players to this day. And Coach Bryant started it in the early 60s. 60 years ago, he started it. Okay, you'll hear about that story on Wednesday night and why they raise four fingers in the beginning of the fourth quarter. 99.999% of the people out there do it, have no idea what's in store. All right, KJ, let's go here. Yeah, the fourth quarter pledge. It's on my show Wednesday night. What do you think about that? And yeah, it didn't surprise me that you knew it came from Coach Bryant.
Oh, yes, sir. I knew exactly where that four-finger salute came from, and I knew it long before it showed up on national television with dramatic lighting and slow-motion replays. I learned it the old-fashioned way on Friday nights at Hazelwood High School, playing for the Golden Bears out of Town Creek, Alabama. We did not just raise four fingers. We built an entire identity around it. We called ourselves the Fourth Quarter Bears, and we backed it up by winning two state championships. For us,
Oh,
the fourth quarter
God.
was not a tradition, it was a promise. If you made it to the fourth quarter with us, you were already in trouble. So when people talk about the fourth quarter pledge like it is some new revelation, I have to laugh a little. We were living that thing before social media, before podcasts, before everyone had a slogan in the hype video. We believed the game belonged to whoever had the discipline, toughness, commitment, effort, and pride to finish. That mindset came straight out of Coach Bryant's shadow, whether people realized it or not. Now let me say this about you playing for Coach Bryant and not knowing he started the fourth quarter pledge. That just proves how deep his influence ran. Coach Bryant was so far ahead of the game that half the people living in his philosophy did not even know where it came from. That pledge was not about fingers in the air. It was about mindset. It was about telling yourself and your teammates that no matter what happened in the first three quarters, this last one belonged to you if you were willing to take it. I love that Dr. Galen McCullough chronicled the origin in the long shadow of Paul Bear Bryant, because that is exactly what it is. Shadow that still stretches across football fields and lives today. Millions of players raising four fingers every Saturday do not even realize they are participating in a legacy that started with one man who believed finishing strong mattered more than starting fast. So, Paul, I am looking forward to that podcast Wednesday night because that story deserves to be told. And I will just say this: whether you learned it from a book, a coach, or a dusty high school field in Town Creek, the truth is the same. The fourth quarter is not something you survive, it is something you claim.
Holy cow, let's go over a couple of Kerry's quotes. We called ourselves the fourth quarter Bears at Hazelwood High School. That KG is taking the fourth quarter pledge to another level, actually calling you guys the fourth quarter Bears, built an entire identity on it, winning 2 state titles. Seems you're doing something right. Wow, Coach Bryant was so far ahead of the game that some people living his philosophy had no idea where it came from. And that's why we're doing this podcast Wednesday night. Kerry knows where it came from. A lot of people knows where it came from, and but most don't. So we're going to talk about that. All right, my last question for you, Kerry, this week. You say we should be motivated to enjoy every moment of our lives. Wisdom of the fourth quarter of life says that I have learned from my mistakes and I'm moving forward. KG, are you saying don't retire and do nothing? Find purpose and meaning until the big white hat in the sky, God, blows the final whistle? Is that what you're saying, KG?
Absolutely, Paul. That is exactly what I am saying. And I am saying it loud enough for the folks in the cheap seats and the recliners. God did not put us on this earth to clock out early, sit down, and wait on the big white hat in the sky to blow the final whistle. God put us here to be productive every single day we draw breath. As long as you are breathing, you are on the roster. There is no spiritual retirement plan where you get to do nothing and still expect a championship ring. The wisdom of the fourth quarter of life says I have learned from my mistakes. I have tripped over my own feet enough times to know better now, and I am moving forward with purpose. That does not mean pretending you are still in your 20s. It means using what you know now to make a difference where you are. Enjoy every moment does not mean chasing comfort. It means chasing meaning. Purpose does not retire. It just changes uniforms. And the Bible is very clear about this whole fruit thing. John chapter 15 verse 2 says every branch that does not bear fruit is taken away, and every branch that does bear fruit is pruned so it can bear even more fruit. In verse 6 it gets even more blunt. If a branch does not remain and bear fruit, it withers and is thrown away. That is not exactly a Hallmark card, but it gets the point across. God expects fruit, period. So no, I am not saying keep grinding just to stay busy. I am saying stay connected, stay useful, stay purposeful until God says the game is over. Until then, you are still running routes, still blocking for somebody, still encouraging a teammate, still showing up. The fourth quarter of life is not about slowing down. It is about finishing strong. And when that final whistle does blow, I want it to be clear that I left it all on the field and bore fruit right up until the end.
So you have, Kerry. So you have, my friend. Wow. That's some great advice. God just fills him with so much wisdom. And he's a wordsmith. He's turned into a wordsmith. Let's talk a little bit about what he said in that last question there. As long as you are breathing, you're on the roster. There is no spiritual retirement. There's no time to retire, whether it's spiritual or not. Find something you love to do. Purpose doesn't retire, it just changes uniforms. Wow, think about that. You can find other purposes, find other meanings. And finally, he talks about John chapter 15, mainly verse 2 and verse 6. Verse 6, if the branches don't bear fruit, they get thrown away. And he says, not exactly a Hallmark card. Truth hurts sometimes. Bible's got all the answers, and they're all in there. If we just look, Kerry looks for us every Monday night as a good and faithful servant. We're really blessed to have him come along. He's going to summarize the show as he has for the past year or so. Let's listen to Kerry summarizing today's subject.
All right, White. Oh, let's wrap this up before somebody calls a timeout, pulls a hamstring, or the drummer shows back up. If you have been listening closely, the last three questions all point to one undeniable truth. Life is not a blowout, and if you thought you would be up by 30 by the time the fourth quarter hit, welcome to reality. Coach Dubose already told us you probably are not winning by much, so you better get a couple stops on defense. Coach Bryant warned us years ago that life will eventually kick your dog, steal your wife, and let her run off with the drummer, and somehow still expect you to line up and play the next snap like nothing happened. Then we talked about those four fingers in the air. That was not just a cool football thing for television. That came from grit, tradition, and hard lessons learned long before social media. Some of us learned it from Coach Bryant, some from books, and some of us learned it the hard way on Friday nights in small towns where winning the fourth quarter meant winning the game to state championships later. The lesson was clear. Finish strong or finish watching. And finally, let us clear up this whole retirement misunderstanding. God did not put you here to sit on the couch, watch reruns, and wait on the big white hat in the sky to blow the final whistle. As long as you are breathing, you are still on the roster. The Bible makes it clear that if you stop bearing fruit, you start withering. Translation: no purpose leads to no power. The fourth quarter of life is not about slowing down. It is about getting smarter, tougher, and more intentional with what you have left in the tank. So here is the encouragement for everyone listening. You may not have the lead you wanted. You may be tired, sore, and wondering how in the world you got to this point so fast. But if you are still breathing, you still have purpose. Raise your forefingers, dig deep, bear fruit, and leave it all on the field. The fourth quarter is not where you quit. It is where you finish strong.
Wow. Unbelievable, KG. Another beautiful episode. Thanks for your words of wisdom. Man, anybody watch this show, please share it, as I hope they get something out of it. At least they'll know where the fourth quarter pledge came from. We want to hear the whole story on the fourth quarter pledge. Tune in, Coach's Corner on Wednesday night. Thank you, Kerry. Have a great week, buddy. I love you. And everybody, thanks for watching the show. If you like it, share it. Subscribe on my YouTube channel. It's free. Brought to you by Sandy Sansing Chevrolet. Have a great sports week, everybody. I'm Coach Tripp signing off. So long. If I can find my commercials, we'll roll along.
When it comes to buying your next car, truck, or SUV, you need a team that puts you first. Here at the Sandy Sansing dealerships, we're proud to serve Pensacola and the Gulf Coast with the best selection, trusted service, and deals that work for your family. Just like great coaches build great teams, Sandy Sansing builds lasting relationships with every customer who walks through our doors. Because when it comes to finding your next vehicle, there's only one name to remember. Sandy Sansing can.
Arbitrium Consulting for all your fencing, landscaping, pressure washing, tree trimming needs. Call 850-483-0350 for your free estimates. Serving Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, Destin, Perdido, Gulf Shores, Foley, and the entire Gulf Coast. Arbitrium Consulting is owner-operated, fully licensed and insured. Call today, 850-483-0350, the official landscaper of Coach's Corner.
That's you trying to fix the plumbing yourself to save a few bucks. Doing things yourself doesn't always end well. The same goes for insurance. That's why Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and offer discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance. Because sometimes you need a professional to get the job done right. That's simple human sense.
When it comes to buggies and golf carts, nobody does it like Buggy Works. Hi, I'm JP Wibbs. We've got the largest selection of golf carts on the Gulf Coast. We have a brand new 10,000 square foot state-of-the-art service center and showroom to keep you rolling. We're right here in the heart of Car City at 5831 Pensacola Boulevard. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays 9 to 3. Check us out at buggyworks.com. Buggy Works. Come by and see why we're the #1 Denago dealer in the nation.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time.
When it comes to buying your next car, truck, or SUV, you need a team that puts you first. Here at the Sandy Sansing dealerships, we're proud to serve Pensacola and the Gulf Coast with the best selection, trusted service, and deals that work for your family. Just like great coaches build great teams, Sandy Sansing builds lasting relationships with every customer who walks through our doors. Because when it comes to finding your next vehicle, there's only one name to remember. Sandy Sansing can.
75 years of service and high tech today. It's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348. High tech is a term often applied to advanced services and products in today's marketplace. And today, glass is much more than a simple pane of brittle, see-through stuff we hit baseballs through when we were kids. Glass is now a product with unique flexibility in both performance and application. And Pensacola Glass Company is growing right along. That's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348.
There's a reason why Hill Kelly in Pensacola is the #1 selling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer between Jacksonville and New Orleans. While other dealers have taken advantage of a competitive market with higher prices, Hill Kelly has discounted prices to the lowest of the year. And Hill Kelly in Pensacola won't surprise you with excessive charges beyond the selling price. Come see why people from Milton, Pace, Foley, Bay Minette, Daphne, Gulf Shores, Mobile, and beyond are driving to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to buy their next new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. At Hill Kelly, the bottom line price and your satisfaction are what really matter. So before you sign, check the bottom line and make the trip to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to see what true local ownership can do for you. At Hill Kelly Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Highway 29 in Car City, Pensacola. Or shop online 24/7 at HillKellyDodge.com. When it comes to bottom line pricing, nobody beats a Hill Kelly deal. Nobody.